you look to next year, that schedule sets up really nicely for Penn State. I mean, like you said, there's no reason they shouldn't be undefeated whenever they go to Columbus, and getting Michigan a little bit later in the year then and getting them at home will be big as well. With the hype, it's going to be high regardless. And you look to the transfer portal and you look there, and that has a chance for the hype really to just continue to grow. I mean, right now, Dante Cephas, who might be the best receiver in the portal from Kent State, currently on an official visit to campus. There's some buzz that he'll leave campus, committed to the Nittany Lions. If you can add a player or two like that, I mean, I expect him to be very aggressive in the portal, wide receiver. You have former Penn State commit and former Oregon Duck Dante Thornton, who averaged 20 yards a catch last year in the portal as well. Receiver the Penn State seems to be in a good spot for. So, you bring in a couple of those guys, mix and match some other places for some depth, maybe cornerback, maybe defensive tackle, and that just feeds further into the hype. Because, if you look to next year, really the only questions you're going to have about this offense is going to be wide receiver. And when you have a quarterback with the arm talent and the ability of Drew Allar, that's going to alleviate some of that because he's just going to throw guys open and that sort of thing. But, if you are able to add, say, a Dante Cephas, who was extremely productive for Penn State, could easily go to the NFL right now if he wanted to, but is going to transfer for a year. And so you would also add Dante Thornton, and you could put those guys on the outside and slide Keandre Lambert-Smith to the slot where he's better suited. And then you mix in, a Trey Wallace and Omari Evans and Caden Saunders. And all of a sudden you're looking pretty deep there. So I think that's one thing, too, to watch these next few weeks with the transfer portal is, if Penn State's able to hit on some of these targets of theirs, and it seems like they're going to get at least some of them, that's just going to continue to add to this hype train as it rolls full steam ahead towards 2023.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say Dante Cephas was a name I saw that was visiting camp. And it seemed like Penn State's in pretty good shape for him.
I should mention, too, sorry, Tim, real quick with Cephas, Pittsburgh native, went to Penn Hills High School where he was a high school teammate with current Penn State defensive back Daquan Hardy and running back Tank Smith. So, and anyone who knows the Pittsburgh high school football scene, Terry Smith knows absolutely everybody and has known absolutely everybody their entire lives. So I'm sure Cephas's relationship with Coach Terry is one that goes back quite a ways as well.
And I gotta say, it's kind of neat to see too, because he was a two-star recruit out of high school. So understandably, he ended up at Kent State, but for him to tear it up enough and then now have an opportunity to, maybe be the guy at a school that I'm sure he was hoping, dreaming of getting an offer from Penn State, and now he's got Penn State after him, hosting an official visit, where he can play his final year there donning the blue and white. What a way for him to end his college playing career before he goes on to a productive NFL career. And Dante Thornton, like you said, hopefully he'd be nice to get it. He seems like gives you a little height too, in addition to speed. He'd be a huge get if they can land him. I also saw that Jimmy Horn, Joe Horn's kid.
Yeah.
Florida.
I don't know if he visited this. I know he was trying to visit this weekend. I'm not sure if it came to fruition or not, but I mean, he would add some serious speed to the wide receiver room. And I mean, Southern schools are going to be on him. He's from the South. Colorado is supposed to get an official visit. But Penn State's definitely firmly in the mix of that one. I think his top three was Penn State, Colorado, and I can't think of off the top of my head, but I know somewhere down south that he also plans to visit. And he's supposed to announce on Christmas. So that's a good call, Tim. That's another name to watch at the portal receiver as well.
Well, as I saw, Colorado Coach Prime there now making some big moves on him. It sounds like it's pretty high on them. They might be the favorite at this point.
Yes. And it's a good shot of it. I mean, with Colorado too, if Dante Cephas does not commit before leaving campus this weekend or shortly thereafter, they could be a school to kind of keep a tab on for him, because the Buffaloes did hire away Kent State's head coach Sean Lewis to be their offensive coordinator. So I'm not. I don't know if there'd be interest there on his end. I mean, the kid might not want to. If you're going to play one more year in college, you go to the NFL. You're probably part of that's going to be, going to a school where you're going to get a lot of exposure and compete for a championship. And obviously you're not going to get that in Colorado next year, but just could be something to watch if he doesn't commit either this weekend or early in the week.